Hi everyone. So today I am gonna be talking about um, like religion, belief, um, and how some religions, mainly one, is destroying all other religions, beliefs, etc. Um, I know that I'm gonna get quite a lot of hate for what I'm about to say. So I'm going to turn off my comments for the sake of this video. And I'm going to be nice about it, but I'm just going to be honest about it. So I've noticed on social media, mainly YouTube. Anyway, so before I start, um, welcome to my channel. I am mysticody, and and today we're going to talk about Christianity. So basically, Christians. Um, so yeah, let's begin. So I've noticed, I don't know, I've noticed it for a while, but it's gotten worse over the last few months. Um, Christians attacking other beliefs. Um, I don't know exactly why. I do kind of know why, but I don't know for sure. Um, but let's talk about other religions before I talk about Christianity and how it's fake. Um, my theory on why they bully. So, before Christianity was created by man, um, there were other belief systems. Some people say they're just beliefs. Some people say that they are religion. Again, it's up to what you class these as. But let's talk about pagans here in the UK. Before was created, pagans was rife here in the UK. They had several holidays throughout the year, so they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They had 8 holidays. Well, I say religious holidays. Um, Halloween was one of them. Christmas, as we know it today, is one of them. Pagans call it Yule, Yule, and they got one for spring, summer, autumn. Yeah, so many holidays. Um, and they would. This is going back hundreds of years ago, maybe even longer than hundreds of years ago. They used to do their rituals. They used to do rituals all the time, but certain times of the year, rituals would work better, if that makes sense. So full moon, new moon, summer solstice, winter solstice. And that's the other thing, guys. Winter and summer solstice is an actual pagan um, belief system. Obviously, other religions, do whatever on the summer winter solstice. but mainly it's to do with pagans. Um, Summer solstice, obviously, the summer. Winter solstice is winter. Summer solstice to bring in new life. Hopefully by that point, um, the harvest would, show something in a way of a good harvest. And the winter solstice is to, um, hopefully again by that point they'll bring in a harvest, etc. um, Christmas is, like I said, a pagan holiday. Always has been, always will be. And best part of December, they used to have, I wouldn't say parties, but they used to, we would call them parties today, but they would, kill most of their livestock because they literally don't have the food to feed them. So they would kill most of their livestock and basically just have one big feast pretty much every day. Again, guys, you got to remember this back in the day before we had fridges and freezers and the technology we had today. We're talking about hundreds of thousands, maybe thousands of years. So they used to feast the month of December. Now, if I remember right, I don't have any paperwork with me. I'm just going off what I can remember. But I think his name is Horus, I think, the pagan god, was born around about the time of the 25th of December. Around about that time, so obviously from, I think if I again remember right, from the 19th straight through to around about the 27th of December, they would celebrate his birth. Horus, I think his name is. They would bring in evergreen trees. They would bring them into their home, decorate them. They would, while they're out finding an evergreen tree to put into their home, they would find a big log and they would burn it for 12 days. That is where you get your 12 days of Christmas. They would find a massive great big log and they would burn it for 12 days. That's what you call a Yule log. They would burn it for 12 days. And they would have fires outside, fires inside, to ward off any negative, unwanted energy, and to bring in new energy for the new year. They would bring in, they'll get rid of any unwanted spirits and bring in good spirits, hopefully to bring in a good harvest or a good year in the way of weather, harvest, etc. Now, the UK government, again back in the day, didn't like the way pagans celebrated Halloween. Again, they would, like Halloween, they would literally have parties, celebrate the dead, so to speak, etc. Again, all this stuff you can research, guys. You can find it on the internet. So yeah, they would like any chance of having a good celebration of energy. You used to have these celebrations, like I said, for energy, to ward off any unwanted energy, and to bring in good energy. And again, depends on what time of the year it was, whether it's spring, summer, winter, autumn. Anyway, so the UK government didn't like the way pagans would celebrate Christmas and whatnot. So they banned it. And for quite a few years, this is going back in the 40s. I think it was the 1840s, 1850s, I think. The UK government banned Christmas. Because the UK government banned Christmas, the US government at that time also banned Christmas. Because they didn't like the way pagans celebrated it. And that's where you get the mince pies from. Again, back in the day, mince pies was called Christmas pie, or word to that effect. And the government outright banned the whole celebration of Yule. To put a stop to Yule and to paganism. And even though they put a ban on it, people still celebrated. It pretty much went underground. People would still celebrate Yule, but they would do it in the privacy of their own home. Little bit of a side note, guys. With paganism, Yule, again, going back many years ago, they would literally have street parties. They would, the parties used to start in their home, and they would end up in the street, and they would flood the streets. And this is where wife swapping came about. Again, a time of the year where you let your partner do whatever with another person. They used to get drunk. Servants were the boss. There was like one day of the year where the servants used to be the boss, and the boss used to be the servant. They put an end to all of that. And it's also to do with money. It's greed as well. The UK government and obviously the US government didn't like the fact that one day of the year the servants could literally have what they wanted. If the servant saw that the boss had very nice cutlery, very nice silver, had plenty of money, plenty of food, a comfortable bed, a nice home, they could, within reason, go in there for one day of the year and say, I want that. And the servant, the boss, so to speak, would have to give it to them. So the UK government put a ban to all of that. And I think it was the 1800s, I think. And it was the early, make sure I get this right. Like I said, I haven't got this written down. I'm just going off by memory. So it was around about before the First World War. Thereabouts, I can't remember the exact date, but they brought Christmas back in. But they had to modify it because they didn't want it to go back to the way it was. So they were searching around to see what they could bring in. They would reach out to like people that write poems and people that created like books and stuff and say, hey, this is what we want to do. Any chance if you can write a book, write a poem about Christmas. We want to bring Christmas back, but we want to change it to basically to what it is today. Then the First and Second World War hit, and then once the First and Second World War ended, they really went to town on Christmas as we know it today. Um, yeah, so that's kind of the history, a very small part of history of paganism. They pretty much, I wouldn't say wiped paganism off the map, but Christians and Christianity pretty much made sure that things like paganism were kept minimal. If you post anything, especially on YouTube, about paganism, Christians will attack you relentless, saying that it's not real. Let's talk about Wiccan and witchcraft. Again, going back hundreds of years, if you were found guilty of being a witch, the government would literally sentence you to death. Here in England, if you were found guilty of practicing witchcraft, found you guilty of being a witch, practicing witchcraft, they would hang you until you were dead, and you would be buried at a crossroads. Reason why they would bury you at a crossroads is because when your soul leaves your body, the soul wouldn't know which way to turn, wouldn't know where to go, because they didn't want a witch in this, i.e., heaven. Again, another Christian, yeah. So they used to bury witches at crossroads or on unholy ground, because they didn't want witches to what's the word? Poison the ground, so to speak, the holy ground. In Scotland, they would burn witches at the stake. If you were caught being a witch. Again, if you were caught being a witch, they obviously would torture you first. Some cases, witches would die just going through the like the torturing. What they used to do to witches to get a confession, they would torture the witch. They used to walk witches for anywhere between 24 to 48 hours, constantly walking. They weren't allowed to sit down, they weren't allowed to stop. They would constantly walk. That's what the government did. They used to get them to walk. Or they would get them to sit down cross-legged on the floor, a stone floor, hard stone floor, for 24, 48 hours. In front of a hot fire. Again, to get a confession. They would, again, one of the other things they would do is they would get the witch to sit on a metal chair with spikes, only like small little spikes, they weren't big, and they would put a fire underneath the seat and they would heat the fire up. Obviously they would strap the witch to the chair so the witch wouldn't get up and try to run away. As the seat would get hotter and hotter, they would confess of being a witch. Even if they wasn't, they would confess to be a witch just so they can get off the chair, and they would be hung. Swimming, they would tie your left thumb to your right big toe, and the same with your right thumb, they would tie it to your left big toe. They would strap a rope around your waist, and they would literally just throw you in the river or the pond. If you sunk to the bottom of the river or pond, you were innocent. But when they took you out of the river, it's a very good chance that you would have died from drowning. But you was innocent. if you floated to the top, you were guilty, and then you were hung. So either way, you would have died doing swimming, the swimming test. Again, it was a Christian way of getting rid of witches, because witches don't believe in Jesus Christ. They do not believe in. They have their own gods, don't get me wrong, but they don't believe in the Christian God. Same with paganism. They believe in gods, but they don't believe in a Christian God. And that's the same with Wiccan as well. So basically, what I'm trying to get at is, if you're a witch or believed in paganism, they would either sentence you to death, or they would literally do something to make you believe in God. So let's talk about like today. Even today, if you post anything about paganism, witchcraft, Wiccan, you'll be attacked by Christians. Christians that now have taken over paganism, witchcraft, Wiccan, they've actually started to take, again this is going back years, they've actually started to take over Native Americans. As we know, back in the day, when white man took over America, they put Native Americans in concentration camps, again because they didn't like what they believed in. And I wouldn't say the wiped Native Americans off the map. They're still pretty much doing well. They're alive. They're in concentration camps, but they're around. Their belief system is gone from like the whole of the United States down to concentration camps, and they're not allowed to do certain things because they don't have the room to do it in their small little cardboard houses. If you see their houses, they're decayed, they're falling apart, they're leaking, yeah. So now most of, not all of them, but most of Native Americans actually believe in Jesus Christ because their belief system has been crushed by man, by white men, and by Christians. So most of Native Americans now believe in Jesus Christ because they were bullied to. Not because they wanted to, because they were bullied into believing it. Let's go to Buddhism in China and Asia and Japan. Again, another great belief system. I can't remember when this happened, but quite a few years back, they found an old ruin of a temple. And in this ruin, they found ashes. Now, Buddhism allowed scientists to do tests on these ashes, not necessarily to find out who it is, because they roughly knew who it was, but they wanted to make sure they knew who it was. And anyway, scientists allowed to do tests, came back that these tests were like over 2,000 years ago, like 2,000 something years ago, around a time when Buddha was alive. Now, historic records show in Buddhism that Buddha was alive, he walked the earth, he died, was cremated and put somewhere, and they found his remains in an old ruin. Again, you have to do your own research on this, guys, but it is out there. If you look hard enough, it's out there. Buddha was, I don't know whether he was a prince, but he was quite high up in the pecking order, so to speak. He lived, I wouldn't say a castle, but he lived in like a fortified palace kind of like setting. And I don't know who this person was. I don't know whether this person was a psychic or whether they were a healer or something. But this person worked with spirit and said to the mum, "You'll give birth to a boy. You'll give birth underneath." I'm not very good at naming trees, but they said you'll give birth to a boy underneath a tree. This boy will either become a healer, he'll go around healing people, or he would be a very good warrior. He would have his own army, he'll lead his army, and he'll be a very good warrior. Anyway, the story goes, Buddha wasn't allowed to leave his home. He was pretty much protected, so to speak. So one day he asked his mum, "Can I leave the grounds of the home and see how other people lived?" Expecting other people to live the way he lived. When he left the home, obviously he had like guards and that with him. He found death, he found disease, he found homelessness, he found starvation. Everything that you see today, he saw. He saw war, and he said, "I want to change this." So when he got old enough, he left, and that's how you got Buddhism today. He meditated every single day. He helped people with healing and all that kind of stuff. Again, you have to look into it. Asians, I say Asians, they're the ones that created meditation. And even today, scientists are doing tests on people that do meditation and and said that if you meditate for a certain amount of time a day and you do it for so many years, you will fight things like dementia. You'll slow down dementia. And that's coming from Buddhism, that's coming from Asia, that's coming from China, Japan. If you meditate, you'll slow down dementia. But it was Buddha that pushed this meditation. But Christians don't want this. Christians want to take over Buddhists and Buddhist monks and these temples and turn them into Christian beliefs. Sadly, it's happening very slowly, but it's happening. Now, let's talk about Christians. Now, there is no scientific fact that Jesus Christ walked the earth. There's no scientific fact. They found remains of Roman roads. They found remains of Roman walls. They found remains of Roman soldiers and Roman people. They found like skeletons. When they dig up whatever they dig up, they found Roman people dating back to when Jesus Christ was born and walked the earth. Bones, people, skeletons of people that were around the time when Jesus Christ was born, but they cannot find any physical proof that Jesus Christ walked the earth. They can find Roman bones of other people, but they cannot find him. Why? Why? Let me have a quick drink, because my mouth is getting dry. Now, let's talk about the churches. Now, the churches, some churches around the world say that they've got the head of I think it's John the Baptist. I don't know, I don't follow Christianity, but they said that they found a skull of an important figure dating back from when Jesus was around. So scientists looked up and said, okay then, if you say that you've got what you say you've got, let me do tests on it, find out the year of this remains of this person, if it was a skull of a person. Let me do a carbon date, I'll give you the exact day or the exact year or time frame when this person walked the earth. As soon as they said that, the church refused any tests to do on the skull. They, to this day, still believe that they got the head of this important saint that was around the time of Jesus Christ, but they will not allow scientists to do any kind of tests whatsoever. So they cannot find the the remains of Jesus Christ. So we're not allowed to do tests on this skull. There's no sign that he was alive. If you look at the Bible, what Christians preach is not in the Bible. So let's go back to Christmas. There's no record in the Bible of when Jesus Christ was born. It does not say that he was born in a manger, in a shed, in the middle of nowhere, in some farmer's field. It does not say in the Bible that he was born on the 25th of December. You've got to remember, 25th of December is the day when pagan God was born. Again, there's got to bear this all in mind, guys. So doesn't say anything about Jesus' birthday in the Bible. Some people say that they've read the Bible and it's somewhere between April and September when he was born, if he was born. So what today is the 6th of April, so between now and September Jesus Christ was born, but there's no scientific proof that he was born. The Virgin Mary, we all know that for order for a lady to be pregnant, that lady will have to have sexual intercourse with a man to get pregnant. Now, scientists have came a long way. Obviously, over quite a few years, they've came a long way, and this way of getting pregnant has been, around for a while. But as long as you got, again, I've got to be careful what I say. But if a lady can get their hands on what the man's got, if you know what I mean, I'm going to call it milkshake. If a woman can get a hold of the man's milkshake and insert it into herself without having sexual intercourse with that man, that lady can get pregnant. That's a sign. That's a science based, not God, not Christian, not none of that. It is science. Science came up with that. Not God, not Jesus, not this fake person that was nailed to a cross that they can't even find where the cross was when it was erected. You know. So yeah. Now Mary, apparently the Virgin. Now, if you look up the word virgin, is a person that's never had sex in their life. They never had sex. Never even kissed another person, let alone have a relationship of any sort with another person. But the Virgin Mary gave birth, never had sex of any sort, gave birth to Jesus Christ. What a pile of rubbish. Sorry guys, but what a pile of BS. What a pile of rubbish. It's a bit like me saying that I'm pregnant but I never had sex in my life. Okay, how did that work? How did that work? But yeah. So, she's got to have, some kind of loving moment with someone to get pregnant. It certainly wasn't Jesus. It certainly wasn't God. I can tell you that right now. Certainly wasn't God. God is an energy, not a physical being. God is okay. Let's talk about the science side of this. Electric or energy is something that you can plug. So my phone will probably need charging after this. So I'll plug the charger into the wall, into a plug socket, and connect it to my phone, and it will charge my phone. I can't see the electric in the plug. I can't see the electric running through the wire, but I know it's there. If I get my finger wet and I stick it into the plug socket, I'm going to get electrocuted. Electrical fires. My back garden leads onto train tracks, and if the tracks are wet and it's some kind of track, sometimes I see sparks coming from the wheels of the train. It's like a whitish bluish colour. You can actually hear the electric as well, and so not only can you hear the electric, but you can see it spark. If you see power mains below, you see like an orangey spark and a very loud buzzing coming from the electrical wires that you see hanging around everywhere. But yeah, so let's talk about plug socket. You can't see the energy there, but you know it's there. You plug it in, charge up your phone or whatever it is that you're using that's electrical, and it works, but you can't see it. That's kind of like what God is. It's energy that you can't see, but it's there. And apparently this energy of God is supposed to have impregnated Mary. 8-9 months later she gave birth. What a pile of rubbish. So yeah. So guys, I hope that kind of covers it. Again, I may do another video on this, but just a closing note, Christianity is nothing but an organisation that bullies other religion bullies other people that do not believe in Jesus, this fake God. Christianity or Christians have stolen the pagan beliefs to get rid of pagans. They executed witches because they were scared of what the witch can do. Okay? Again, they said that, witches can put curses on people, that can make crops fail and bring in storms and stuff like that. I've never seen a witch do that. A good witch or bad witch. I've never seen a witch do that. Witchcraft or witch have this law. I can't remember the exact word, but it's like the rule of three. So if you give out good, you get good back 3 times as much. If you put out bad, you'll get it back 3 times as much. So why would a witch make your crops fail when she knows that she's going to get it 3 times worse? Why would she bring in a storm or put a curse on someone if she knows, or they know? I want to say she, because most of the people that died back in the day were women. But men can practice witchcraft as well. So when a witch puts a curse or makes crops fail, why would they do that when they know that they'll get it back 3 times as much? Now guys, again, as you see on the bottom here, there's a pentacle. Now that pentacle represents earth, air, fire, water, and the top is spirit. Those are 1, 2, 3, 4. They are the 5 elements that create not only the earth but us. Okay? Earth, air, fire, water. You use them without even knowing that you're using them. Okay? You need earth to walk on. You need earth to make things grow. Earth is everywhere. Fire. You need fire to heat up your home, to heat up your water, to cook in, to all sorts. So you got earth, fire, water. I'm looking at my window now, it's raining. Water's everywhere. You drink water, you use water for everything. So you've done earth, you've done fire, you've done water. Air, you need air to breathe. Air is everywhere. You need it to breathe, otherwise we won't be here. And spirit, the spirit is us. The spirit is within us. Not this fake Jesus Christ that never lived. The spirit is within us. So just remember that, guys. Christianity is fake. They're only doing it for the money. You look at how much money Christianity makes. You look at these top leaders of Christianity, they're making millions, like any other company in the world. They're making millions, if not billions or trillions of pounds a year. It's all about money, it's all about profit, it's all about control. One world order. I don't believe in conspiracy theories, I don't believe in all of them. But one world order. If they can get everyone to believe in one religion, if they can get people to stop eating meat, to stop smoking, to stop drinking alcohol, to stop doing this, to stop doing that, it's all about control. So just remember that, guys. I'm not a big conspiracy theory fan, but it's hard to ignore it when what they're talking about is actually happening in real life. So, sorry guys if I upset you all, but facts are facts, truth is truth. You can believe it, or you can just put your blinkers on and pretend it's not happening. But it's about time that someone spoke out about Christianity. They are nothing but bullies. They will bully you until you believe in Jesus Christ. Do not put up with that BS, because the day that you do is the day that the world is doomed. And all you Christians out there, stop attacking other people for their beliefs. They don't care about Jesus Christ, they don't care about God. They only care about their beliefs. And I'm telling you now, it's got nothing to do with God or Jesus Christ. Do not attack pagans or Christians for their beliefs. Do not attack Native Americans and Buddhism for their beliefs, because it's not your belief. So do not attack them. Leave them alone. Leave them to do whatever they want to do. As long as they're not hurting anyone, leave them be. They're not going to change into a Christian because you're bullying them. That's all you lot are. That's all you Christians are, just bullies. Leave them the hell alone. Because at the end of the day, when Judgment Day comes, you're the one who's going to be judged for bullying, for harassing, for making people's lives hell. You're the one that's going to be judged, not the one that doesn't believe in Jesus Christ. You're the one that's going to be judged. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'm going to get myself sorted out now. I need a shave. Yeah, need a shower. So, thanks for watching. If you like this conversation, obviously leave a like. I'm going to turn the comments off. If you like what I'm talking about, again, subscribe. And I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching.